Hello, entrepreneur. I just finished the video and I've been passing it around about counting up the costs. Mainly, like I told you, there's so much bad information out there. There's so many things that people are putting out and they think that they are motivating people when really they're misleading them, misinforming them, or not giving them the whole picture. There, like I said on the count up the cost, there is nothing wrong with stepping out on faith, but you don't have to do something crazy or illogical for it to be faith. Just the fact that you start a business is faith in and of itself, but that does not mean that you go with the absence of strategy and marketing and working capital and a business plan. Those things, you don't have to do something radical. And keeping in that same vein, I want to talk to you about consistency. I run into it a lot, whenever I'm talking to entrepreneurs, meeting some for the first time, some that become clients, some that are thinking about it. And I want you just to understand that while you do hear the phrase, build it and they will come, they will come. You just don't always know when they will come. There is a time frame in it, and it's not anything quick. And one of the hardest things for an entrepreneur is to go in and day out and remain consistent, remain enthusiastic, remain committed, even when the plan doesn't look like it's coming together. And that is so crucial. One thing about being an entrepreneur is that you're going to have a roller coaster ride. You're going to have ups and downs. It's never going to be smooth. Trust me, I've been doing it a long time. And while every year, part of my business, my main focus is bookkeeping. Taxes is a byproduct of bookkeeping because what I understand more importantly is that there are a lot of people out here doing taxes. Now, mind you, they're not doing them accurately. They're not doing them well. They're not doing them like I do them. Just saying. But my main focus is bookkeeping because what I understand is that bookkeeping will keep you in business. The difference between understanding and knowing where you are financially is priceless. You cannot take anything for that. So I've been doing it a long time. And even when I do taxes, every year tax season comes. And every year is still a lot of work. There's a lot of marketing. It is never just cookie cutter or easy. You have to remain consistent. And one of the things as tax preparers we do, we are studying, we are learning, we are getting ahead of the trends. We are finding out what's going on and keeping, trying to make sure we keep our clients informed and talk to them during the year so that they know what's going on. It is an ongoing business. In that same light, no matter what you do, whether you're in real estate, whether you are in another service industry, whether you plan events, whether you are a caterer, whatever it is that you do, you have to be consistent. Think of it like this. If you are always quitting, you're not building. If you're always ready to give up, you're not building. If you're always one of those people who will try anything, I'll try anything once, then you're not building and you're not consistent. If you're always having to start over, you're not building, you're not consistent. You shouldn't always have to start over. No matter what you're doing, even if you go in a new direction, even if you add to your business, you should never have to go back and start from scratch. Once you get one business off the ground, once you get one thing going, if you remain consistent, you can build from that. Once you get yourself financially stable, once you get to a point where you are, you're saving and you're growing, you should never have to go back to the beginning. Because when you have to keep starting over, what that means is that you are not managing the things that you are gaining. You don't want to be a person who is always starting over, always having to start from scratch. At some point, there should be some things that you maintain, that you save, that you put aside, that you invest, that you earmark. In companies, we'll say there's money there. We see the money, but it is earmarked for investments or it's earmarked for other things, meaning you don't touch it. You should always get to points in your life to where you're moving from level to level to level and not always going back to the beginning. If you're always going back to the beginning and you're always starting over, there is something missing in the management. That's when you need to go back and look at some of the budgeting videos. And that's why I talk about budgeting and money management. Because if you're always having to start over, that means you're not consistent and you're not growing. You're just reinventing and redoing the same thing over and over and hoping for different results. I want to see you win. So that's why we're having these hard conversations. It's not a judgment. It is something for you to think about. Go back, evaluate, see what you're doing, see if you're starting over, and then figure out why you have to keep starting over. It's been your girl, the Queen Bee of Doing Business Better, saying we cannot do business better if we're not consistent. Bye-bye.